Hey there, today we're going to crack the code on something that, let's be honest, most of us dread, the algebra word problem. Yep, we're going to take those confusing paragraphs and turn them into simple, solvable equations you can actually handle. So let's dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? You stare at a paragraph packed with numbers and your brain just shuts down. If that's you, you're so not alone. It honestly feels less like a math problem and more like trying to read a completely foreign language. Just this jumble of words and symbols that's super overwhelming.
But what if I told you that you could have a universal translator? I mean, a tool that takes all that confusing language and just spits it out as simple, clear, logical math. Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together today, a way to make it all make sense.
Okay, first things first, we need to know what we're even aiming for here. We're translating these word problems into something called an algebraic equation. So what in the world is that?
You know, at its core, an algebraic equation is really just a statement about balance. Perfect balance. It's saying that whatever is on the left side of that equal sign is exactly the same value as whatever is on the right. And our whole job, our entire mission, is to find the value of that unknown thing, that letter, usually an x, that makes the whole statement true.
Think about it like this, a perfectly balanced scale. That's what an equation is. And this brings us to the one absolute golden rule of algebra. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do the exact same thing to the other side. You gotta keep that scale balanced. Seriously, if you remember that one rule, you can solve pretty much anything.
Okay, so how do we actually get from a confusing sentence to that nice balanced scale? Well, here's the secret. There are certain English words that are basically direct clues. They're like little signposts that tell you exactly which math operation you need to use.
This right here, this is your cheat sheet, your personal dictionary for translating English into math. Anytime you see words like sum or total, bam, that's a plus sign. If you see product or times, you know you're multiplying. And this is a big one. Look at that last row. Words like is, are, or results in are your big flashing signal for the most important symbol of them all, the equal sign. This table is the heart of our translator. So, having the dictionary is awesome, but it's not enough. You also need a process, right? A reliable plan of attack you can use every single time. And that is where our 6-step blueprint comes in.
Here it is, your foolproof game plan. Just 6 steps. First, just read the problem and actually understand what it's asking. Second, hunt down those key words from our dictionary. Third, pick a letter. X is the classic for the thing you don't know. Then, you translate the phrases, build the full equation, and finally, you solve it, and, this is key, check your answer. Just follow these steps, in this order, every single time.
Okay, enough talk. Theory is great, but let's see this thing in action. It's time to take our dictionary and our blueprint and actually solve a real problem. We're going to crack this code together one step at a time.
All right, here's our target. 3 times a number, decreased by 4, equals 11. What is the number? It might look pretty simple, but it's got all the pieces we need to practice on. Our mission is to turn this one sentence into one clean, solvable equation.
All right, let's follow the blueprint. Step 1, read and understand. Done. Step 2, keywords. Step 3, assign a variable. Okay, for a number, let's just use x. That's our unknown. Now we translate the very first part. 3 times a number. Well, our dictionary says times means we multiply. So that piece just becomes 3x. Easy enough?
Okay, let's keep building. What's the next part of the sentence? Decreased by 4. We look at our keyword dictionary, and yep, decreased by is a dead giveaway for subtraction. So we just tack on a -4 to what we already have. Now we've got 3x minus 4. And now for the final piece that ties it all together. Equals 11. The word equals is our big signpost for, well, the equal sign. And just like that, we've done it. We've translated that whole sentence into one beautiful, clean equation. 3x minus 4 equals 11. See? The hard part, the translation, is over. Now for the fun part, solving it. Remember that balanced scale? Our goal is to get x all by itself. So we have to get rid of that -4. How do we do that? We do the opposite. We add 4. But, and here's the golden rule again, we have to add 4 to both sides to keep things balanced. So that leaves us with 3x on one side and 15 on the other. We're almost there. To get x totally alone, we just need to divide both sides by 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5.
And there you have it. The answer is 5. We cracked the code. That mystery number was 5 the whole time.
Awesome. So now you've seen how to translate and solve a basic problem. But some phrases are a little sneaky. They're specifically designed to trip you up. And honestly, knowing these common traps is just as important as knowing the keywords.
Okay, this is probably the #1 trap in all of word problems. The phrase less than. When you hear 4 less than x, your gut, your instinct, just screams to write 4 minus x. But that is wrong. It actually means you start with x and then subtract 4 from it. The phrase less than completely reverses the order of things. You have to watch out for this one because it'll get you every time if you're not looking.
All right, trap number 2. I like to call this one the how much is left problem. You see this one constantly in problems about money or space or really anything that can be divided into parts.
So, check out this example. You've got 20 gallons of oil total, and you pour it into 2 containers. We're told the big container has g gallons, so the question is, how much oil is in the small container?
The logic here is actually super simple once you see it. The amount left over is just the total amount you started with minus the amount you've already used. That's it. So in our problem, the small container has 20 minus g gallons. Just remember that simple formula, total minus used. It'll save you a lot of headache.
And that's basically it. You've got the keyword dictionary, you've got the 6-step blueprint, and you know the 2 biggest traps to watch out for. You literally have all the basic tools you need to take on pretty much any algebra word problem.
But before we wrap up, let's just quickly go over the key habits that will make you successful at this. First, always write down what your variable means. Second, be super careful with the order and subtraction, especially with less than. And here's the one that separates the pros from the amateurs. Always check your work. Plug your final answer back into the original word problem and see if it makes sense. It's the ultimate way to catch a mistake.
So, you see, word problems aren't some scary, impossible foreign language. They're really just coded messages waiting to be solved. And guess what? You are now officially a codebreaker. You've got the tools to translate them, build them, and solve them. So the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?